Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, July 20th, 2017. The main fire potential impacts in the short term include some gusty winds over central Idaho today with low relative humidities. Further south and east over Utah, we're expecting generally wet thunderstorms to pop up again this afternoon. After today, we get a short break from critical fire weather patterns with decreasing wind speeds and decreasing thunderstorm coverage for the next few days. Yesterday was a fairly active day for thunderstorms across mainly Utah and the Arizona Strip, with some of those storms producing over an inch of rain across far southern Utah and portions of northern Arizona. The thunderstorms across northern Utah were on the drier side. The Great Basin Fire Activity Map shows new initial attacks have been quite active over Utah due to the ongoing thunderstorm activity. Observed precipitation for the past 14 days is shown here. The observed amounts are on the left and the percent of normal is on the right. Much of the precipitation has been limited to just the far southern Great Basin. Current ERCs are on the upward trend over the northern Great Basin and continue to decrease across the southern Great Basin. New live fuel moisture samples have come in for southern Idaho and northern Nevada, each showing decreasing sagebrush live fuel moistures. Over southern Idaho, the sagebrush live fuel moistures are still slightly above normal for the time of year, but are on that decreasing trend. And over northern Nevada, they're also decreasing, but closer to the normal line. This morning's satellite imagery shows that broad area of high pressure located just to the east of the Great Basin, allowing that moisture to move up into the central and eastern Great Basin. An area of low pressure off the southern Canadian coast moving into the Pacific Northwest this morning will create some gusty winds moving into portions of central and eastern Idaho. High-risk triggers have been issued for much of Idaho for these strong winds and low relative humidities, and we're expecting those wet thunderstorms to pop up again this afternoon, particularly over central and southern Utah, but there is a chance for some of those wet storms to move into northern Utah this afternoon as well. Winds will be light across much of Nevada with those stronger winds in eastern and central Idaho, and the majority of the thunderstorms will develop once again over Utah and far eastern Nevada today. On Friday, the moisture begins to work its way off to the east, with drying conditions across the north and moving into northern Utah as well. However, some thunderstorms will linger across southern and central Utah and the Arizona Strip. Winds will be lighter across the north on Friday, with the thunderstorm coverage again decreasing to mainly over the southern and eastern Great Basin. On Saturday, generally sunny skies overtake the Great Basin with warming temperatures and drying conditions region-wide. Minimum relative humidities will be in the single digits across much of western and central Nevada and the low teens elsewhere. A chance for some isolated thunderstorms over the higher elevations of central and southern Utah is still possible on Saturday. 3-day precipitation accumulations are mainly going to be limited to the mountains of Utah, western Wyoming, and down into the Arizona Strip, with over an inch of rain possible with some of these wetter storms. On Sunday, a short wave of low pressure moves into northern California, which will draw some moisture up into central Nevada for an increase in thunderstorm coverage once again in that area. High-risk triggers have been issued for the threat of new large fires. On Monday, more moisture makes its way up into the Great Basin for a better chance of wet thunderstorms over portions of central and eastern Nevada and possibly up into southern Idaho as well. By Tuesday, southwest flow begins to move back into western Nevada ahead of an area of low pressure moving into the Pacific Northwest. Wet thunderstorms will still be expected over much of Utah and up into western Wyoming, but drier conditions will begin to move back into the west. Continued drying on Wednesday under southwest flow. We could see some gusty winds also moving into the Great Basin during this time ahead of that area of low pressure moving into the Pacific Northwest. 7-day precipitation accumulations are shown here as we move into the second half of the week, particularly into the first part of next week. There's a chance to see some more moisture moving up into portions of central and northern Nevada and even up into southern Idaho. The extended forecast moving into the last bit of July and the first part of August is calling for continued above normal temperatures, although the bullseye remains over the northern Rockies, with below normal chances for precipitation over much of Idaho and much of Nevada, with just a above normal signal across southern Utah. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.